I'm Megan Skidmore. For 2.5 years, I have been talking about evolving faith journeys. I started to tire of the heaviness of this focus. I had the clear message come through. It is time for Beyond the Shadow of Doubt podcast to evolve into Living Beyond the Shadow of Doubt podcast. With the same vulnerability and unapologetic authenticity, I will be focusing on the joy in this journey, the life and the living that comes on the other side of maybe, on the other side of what's possible. I want to talk about claiming spiritual sovereignty and becoming your own captain of your vessel. Let's celebrate releasing what no longer aligns for you and connecting with your higher power and honor expanding your energy field to make room for all things new. The vibration is high this month on Living Beyond the Shadow of Doubt podcast. Pretense is dropped and caution thrown to the wind in each interview. I am dropping a new episode daily, spotlighting one of the amazing, soul-led, heart-centered authors of Joan of Arc Publishing, or JOA Publishing, founded by Kira Brinton. Like the namesake for this publishing house, each one embodies the fearless, God-centered spirit left by the legacy of Joan of Arc. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single one. Welcome to a special episode. Today is Valentine's Day. And if you've been following, you have heard some beautiful stories, some powerful, life-changing stories of the entrepreneurs and authors and members of the Mosaic community and Joan of Arc Publishing. Today, I have my new friend Karissa with me. And Karissa, I specifically asked if you would be my Valentine's Day episode for a good reason. And I'm going to let you share more about the book that you wrote. And maybe you know the why, but I just was so touched by you, your spirit, your energy, your aura, and your vulnerability about your journey as a mother and specifically to your daughter Marley. And it's just so inspirational. And I'm all about realness and authenticity and rawness. And you shared some things with us at our recent JOA collective, how you kind of grew into the shoes that you now wear. And I will leave that to you to share with us. But I haven't even given you the chance to say hello. I'm so sorry. But
Yay.
welcome. I'm so grateful to you for making time. I know you are stretched thin, but Karissa, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me. And thank you for all your kind words. I receive all of them.
I'm just going to let you take over and just share with our listeners all about you, the parts that have been meaningful to you in your upbringing, that have guided you, maybe played a role into who you are today, how you've evolved over the years, include your family, your faith journey, any educational pursuits or whatever, all those things.
Oh, okay. Where would you start? Well, maybe the best place to start is this book that I most recently wrote is called Mothering Marley, Wounds to Wisdom. So I'm a mother of 4. Marley is my 3rd child. Um, I've been doing this mom thing. My oldest is 21, so I've been doing it for a minute. And motherhood was, I thought it would be so much easier than it was. And my whole life, I wanted to be a mom. And I felt like I came with an innate sense of nurturing and love and tenderness. And I just thought I would be the best mom in the whole world. And I thought it looked easy. I didn't know why it looked so hard for other people. I'm like, this is so easy. What's the problem? And then I became a mother. It was so hard. It was so, so hard. And I realized as soon as I became a mother, I actually didn't know how to do this. I did not know how to do this. And these sweet little perfect children just were constantly reflecting back to me all of my own pain.
Mm.
And so, when we hear the saying or the phrase that the depths that a mother can love in motherhood, it knows no bounds.
Mhm.
I actually disagree with that. Yes, it does.
Mhm.
We are not able to fully love or fully extend the love that we feel because we are limited by our own pain. That is where the blocks come. That's where the limit comes. I believe that we love them so deeply and we want to show up for them so fearlessly, but so much of our own pain gets mixed in there.
Wow. That really
And
resonates. The way you explain
yeah.
it really makes sense, Marley. Sorry, Carissa.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just constantly beating myself up for how I was showing up because that wasn't what was really in my heart. I was extremely reactive and I didn't know why. And I had so much internal conflict. So much of it came from my own wounding from growing up that I actually wasn't even present to. I didn't really, nobody ever talked about um, hard things. Nobody ever talked about wounds in childhood. Nobody ever, you just keep going. You just do the thing. You just get married and you have the children and you do all the things. And
Right.
nobody talked about any of those quiet things. And so I felt like I was the worst person in the whole entire world. Like I truly did feel like I was the only one having these kinds of feelings. So then I'm like, what kind of person am I? Not even what kind of person, like I'm a terrible person, but even worse than that, like I'm a bad mom. Like that's the worst label in the whole entire world. Every mother knows that. Like to be a bad mom, like I was a bad mom. And so I would just say to myself all the time, like, just chain me up and drop me to the bottom of the sea. Like I have no value, no worth. So my book is pulling all of those parts out and talking to all these parts and places that I have since learned and realized every single person in the whole world has them. We just don't talk about them or acknowledge them, or we identify with them, and that just magnifies our pain anyways. I identified with the pain and I actually am not those things. Those were just feelings that I had, if that makes sense.
It does. It completely makes sense. And bless you. I celebrate you for speaking to this. You are so right. Women are really, I'll say caregivers, parents, but because women have been socialized in a certain way, wow, we are hard on ourselves and we compare, I do anyway, to
Yeah, we all
those
do.
around us. That's where we get our reference point of what is a bad mom or not a bad mom, right?
Yes.
Thank you for opening up this conversation. It is so needed. Growing up, we're in similar generations. I think I'm older than you a little bit, but yeah, hard things were not talked about.
Mhm.
Things that could potentially bring shame to a person or a family weren't talked about.
Mhm.
So, what made you decide then to write about this, to write about this experience that you had, continue to have, it's never ending,
Right. Mhm.
about
Um,
mothering Marley?
So my daughter Marley has special needs, but she was undiagnosed for like 14 years. So she was, again, like I said, she's my third child. She had delays. That was really her only diagnosis, but she was just behind in everything. And I had to do all these additional like therapies and doctor's appointments and all of these things that I never had to do with any of my other children. And so it was just rocking my world. On top of, I'm trying to keep up with everybody. I'm trying to do all the things. And I'm carrying around just years and years of unhealed pain that I really wasn't present to.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember crying one day in the carport of my mom's home, and I was just begging her, like, do you have any journals of any women in our family? Like anyone on either side, like, please, I just need to know that somebody went through something really, really hard and that they made it through. And she's like, I don't have anything. And I just like was like, I have to do this all on my own. Like I don't even know how to do this. And I didn't feel like I could talk to living mothers. Like I was looking for mothers that were deceased because a living mother would judge me. Like there was no way I could vocalize how I was feeling to a living mother. Like that I felt in some way they couldn't hold how I felt or my situation neutrally. And so that didn't feel safe to me. And so later, as I did a bunch of my healing work and got more just secure in who I am as a person, I felt like this book is that journal, the journal that I always wanted.
That's really beautiful. I mean, what a legacy you are leaving for yourself, your children, your family, but many who I'm sure have had similar thoughts, wishes, desires. So, one of the things I do talk about on this podcast is how our faith journeys are interwoven in our lives and how they affect the things that we do or we don't do, the things that we say or don't say, or even speak up or don't speak up about. I'm guessing there's some of that at play why you didn't seek out certain mothers, the living mothers, like you say, or that you didn't feel safe, right? So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your faith journey. I think I know your background, but I'll let you share our listeners all of that.
Well, I can't even say I believe it. I know that if we do not take care of ourselves on a mental and emotional level, that all of that pain will manifest on a physical level to get our attention. And
Yeah.
so I had stomach cancer really early on. I had two little boys. I was married with two little boys, and I had stomach cancer. So I had surgery, chemo, radiation. And then years later, like at the place where they I formed this new stomach and attached it to the large intestine, it literally was unraveling. So I was like undoing from the inside out, which energetically matched exactly what was happening internally, if that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
and so that I had four kids at that time. So that was 9 years after my cancer surgery. I have all my kids and I'm down for 3 months. And I have this huge, cut right down the middle of my belly. And I felt like all my insides got pulled out. So I was starting to feel things I had never felt before. I was starting to have old memories that I had suppressed from childhood that I had never had before. Like I didn't know what was happening. I was living in a brain fog, not to mention I could not take care of myself or my kids or husband or house or anything. So
Hmm.
I was literally surviving. I was
Okay.
doing the bare minimum. So
You
anything
had
beyond
four
that,
kids. You
what?
had four kids at the time?
Four kids. Yeah.
Wow.
And so we were very active in our faith of origin at that time. But once it got to a point where I couldn't do anything, I started Xing out anything that was extra. Like, okay, we're not reading scriptures anymore. I don't give two shits about scriptures. Like, I'm just trying to stay alive. We're not going to any weekly activities. We're not doing family night. We're not like I couldn't even make meals. Like I didn't even care. I was just trying to stay alive. So I would try to get up and get my kids off to school, and then that was it. I didn't do anything else. And it was just interesting over time. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't going to the temple. I wasn't doing any of those
Hmm.
things. I wasn't praying. Um,
Hmm.
I wasn't doing anything. And over time, I started asking myself, kind of picking apart these concepts that about religion and spirituality, primarily associated with my faith at that time. And I was like, oh, how do I feel about that? Do I believe that? Does that feel true to me? I had never done that in my whole entire life. I had just done the things. But I was
Hmm.
just getting this new insider lens to so many judgments placed on people within the church of why they do or do not do things. So then I was like, what are people telling themselves about why I'm not going to church? Are they thinking it's because I'm inactive, I'm losing my testimony, and so it just gave me this a totally different lens. Like, or these people are so thick in their life circumstances, like church is the first thing to go. They're just trying to stay alive. And we judge them so harshly, so critically. But also at this time, I was feeling like an increase of love. I was feeling a love from the inside out, and I wasn't doing anything to earn it. I wasn't reading scriptures. I wasn't doing all the things with the kids. We weren't going to weekly activities. So I'm like, I always had the belief that love had to be earned. And if you
Hmm.
do the things, you get the gold star, you are blessed by God. And I wasn't
Hmm.
doing any of it. So that was another like, this isn't fitting the narrative. I'm not doing one thing. I'm laying in my bed. I can't even care for my people. But it felt like the story of the widow's mite. Like what I was giving truly was every single thing I had. And God, whatever God is, knew that and was filling me with this love from the inside out. So it was just like another chink in the armor or something to kind of crumble this belief system that I always held.
Wow. Um, that is that is a beautiful experience and a beautiful artful way of describing it. Um, that here you were in one of life's most difficult circumstances. You had four kids, one of whom had extra needs that was kind of this puzzle with lots of missing pieces at the time. And you were trying to navigate that. And then you get, well, almost deathly ill, cancer. And you're trying to just, you're kind of in a survival mode of sorts.
Totally.
And yet, and you weren't doing the things that you had been taught, kind of conditioned, molded to do, that essentially you were told would be what brought you happiness, what brought you that peace, what brought you that love, that joy. Those were not a part of your observances or rituals or
Right.
spirituality at the time, and yet you felt this unmistakable love.
Yes.
As part of my commitment to giving back, every first Friday of the month, I offer a free coaching hour. Anyone is welcome to join, and you may leave your camera off and change your name if you would like to remain anonymous. This is an opportunity to get introduced to my style of holistic coaching and what it would be like to work with me. Gain real skills, insight relevant to you, and fresh perspective on life circumstances. Each month is a different topic. For those attending, there will be opportunities for a complimentary one-off energy alignment session. Once registered, you will have access to discount codes for my other offerings. To get the link, including all the resources, register to complete the agreement at the link in the show notes.
Yes. So that was kind of confusing too. Like, oh,
Mhm.
wait, this is not how they said it should go. And I got really angry because it was like, I had done all of those things. I was so faithful. Like, I was the epitome of a faithful member. I followed all the rules. I didn't do anything behind the scenes that I claimed not to do. Like, I followed all the rules. And so I was like, really? I've done all the things. And like, here I am in this place. Like, those don't give you points to escape or avoid trial or pain or whatever, you know?
Yes.
So
So
it
what,
definitely started to shift things for me.
yeah, so maybe if we can talk about that a little bit. You started to have these aha moments, these realizations. You're obviously in a different place now. I mean, you introduced yourself at our recent JOA collective as, I believe, a psychic medium,
Yeah.
which immediately caught my attention
Yeah.
and I wanted to know more. So, how does one get where you were at the time to where you are now? I mean, I'm sure you'll have to give us the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see now, looking back, this is a gift I always had, actually, but I couldn't see it or recognize it because that wasn't possible. That wasn't accepted. That wasn't
Right.
in my religion. It just
Wasn't a
wasn't.
box to be
No,
checked
no, 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 no,
by
no,
any
no. So
means.
that wasn't even in the realm of
Right.
possibility
It
for me.
wasn't, yeah.
No, I hadn't even, nowhere on my radar. I could feel and sense and see like my ancestors, my spirit team all the time. But I thought that was normal. I thought any spiritual person could. So I didn't think much of that. I just thought that's what it was. So it wasn't until I had left the church, so probably like a year and a half later. And at that time, I would just see my people. I couldn't really see anybody else's people.
Okay.
And at that time, I was like rounding the corner to go to my room. And I saw this girl standing there that had just passed away a few weeks prior to cancer. And I had heard about it. I didn't know this girl. I had never seen a picture. I had never met her. But as soon as I rounded the corner to the room, she was standing right there and I knew it was her. And I did what you would do if any person was standing there. I was just like, what are you doing here? And
Yeah.
I realized like my belief system in that moment like burst because my belief was, I guess I thought it was possible. I'd heard about it on TV. I didn't really know how that worked. I really hadn't met a human that did that. So but it wasn't even so much, this isn't possible. It was more personal than that. It was, this isn't possible for me. Like, there is no way I could do that. Like, I'm not worthy of having a gift like that. Like, what? I'm not doing anything to earn that or like qualify for that. How is this even possible? But I instantly had to change the belief system because I'm like, well, here it is. It's happening in real time. She's right here, and I can't even deny it at all. And so from there, that just completely opened the floodgates because it was like, oh my gosh, this has been here this whole entire time and I couldn't see it. I couldn't recognize it because I had a cap. I was capped on what was possible.
Wow. I think what you say, there's more women out there when it comes to, I had heard about these things. I knew of others who claimed to have this type of experience or visitation, but that wasn't for me. Like that would never happen to me, not possible for me, little old me. I'm not important enough, worthy enough, spiritual enough, all of those things. Like I've had those thoughts. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And I think particularly in the LDS faith because women and men have very distinct roles and the men are the ones who hold what is called the priesthood, given what the LDS faith has taught and continues to teach that is the authority to act in the name of God. I think some of that adds layers to that belief system for women.
Yes.
And I'll include, I like to be expansive in my inclusion of genders, those that identify as in a gender fluid way, transgender, non-binary, etc. So that's really that's a beautiful experience and I honor that that is a sacred experience for you. And I hear you when you said, I couldn't deny it. This happened. I experienced it. This was my reality now. So what I love about what you're sharing is even though, a faith journey, a pivot in your faith journey, a faith expansion, I call mine a spiritual awakening now. Even though you know that's the path that's meant for you, it doesn't mean that you're not going to learn as you go, that you're not going to experience things that maybe you weren't anticipating. Well, absolutely, that you weren't anticipating,
Oh,
and that it might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong or that it's not meant for you. So clearly you've claimed this gift and it's a part of your work. Yes?
yes, yes. My two greatest passions are motherhood and mediumship, and I will talk about those all day long.
Yeah. So in focusing now on living beyond the shadow of doubt, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm guessing that this is one of those just blissful, joyous things that you
Oh,
have realized is part of your journey, a part of you, really.
yes, yes. And the peace and the trust and the certainty, honestly, like I see it. I witness the reality of the spirit world every single day, every single day. And my greatest teachers are those that are in the spirit world
Goodness. That
because
just makes
they're living there. They're living there. And so they're communicating with their loved ones. And I learn every single time I do a reading for someone. It's so beautiful. They are my most greatest teachers. Who better to be taught by than the beings that live there, you know?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
just how much is available to us, how much power we actually have, how much God wants to be in our lives and is like how gifted we are. Like
Mhm.
we don't even know what's available to us. And so it's this whole world that I have a foot in both worlds, I feel like. And it is absolutely, it's humbling, like to be a voice for the voiceless um, is something I do not take lightly or treat lightly. Like it is such an honor. And I want to honor those beings by speaking the things that they are not able to say from where they are, probably mostly because their loved one doesn't recognize it, doesn't recognize them, doesn't see the signs, doesn't take it for what it is, um, doesn't have a holding place for it. So it really is an honor, and I'm very grateful.
That is so sacred. Thank you for sharing that. If you could, I'm sure there were lots of things, but I heard you say you had a cap. You said, if only we could realize these things are available to us. What do you think was kind of that moment for you where you kind of let the floodgates open? It's like, okay, I don't know, something's there. I'm going to stop holding myself back. I mean, you may not have thought those exact words, but that was kind of the feeling that you were easing into or that you were trying to embody.
I think the biggest thing, first of all, was truly learning to trust myself. So if I'm trusting myself, then I'm trusting the information that's coming through. And I'm so connected to myself enough that I recognize when an energy isn't mine, when a voice isn't mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I could not have done that for me personally, living in the confines of a system of religion who
Mm-hmm.
constantly, you are not taught to trust yourself. Everything
Right,
is outside of you. So why would you
right,
ever look inside?
right.
So I had to let go of that
Mm-hmm.
first. And I felt so deeply in my bones when we left our faith of origin that I was making the right choice,
Mm-hmm.
that I wasn't wrong, regardless of what all my family said, all my friends said, all my community. I knew that I was making the right choice and that there was something here, what I was feeling. And my choice to honor that laid the foundation for building this trust muscle within myself and this relationship of trust within myself. So that for sure laid the groundwork. And I felt like if I can stand up to all these people that I've raised my family with for 20 years and my friends and family, if I can stand up to them and say, disagree, then I can freaking do anything. I can do anything. I didn't move. I didn't relocate. Nope, still here. Same people, same all the things. If I can do that, I can do anything. So I have just become so deeply connected to my connection to God. I've had to
Mm-hmm.
reframe what God is. I've had to reframe my relationship with God, definitely. But I have. And I trust myself and I trust that relationship so deeply.
That is so important and so needed and so essential. That relationship with self and the trust that you can cultivate, it's so underrated and needs to be, I think, talked about more.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the last question I like to ask is kind of reflective of what this podcast is all about, and that is, what does living beyond the shadow of doubt mean to you, Carissa?
I feel like to me, maybe in the way I experience it, doubt happens in the mind. And there's a lot of things happening in the mind. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of beliefs and patterns and all of the things.
Mhm.
So to me, that means really living from a heart place, a heart space. That there's a saying that says the longest journey we'll ever take is the 14 inches from the head to the heart. The heart is where the soul links to the human body. And I really feel like the more that we're able to connect to that place within us, we can build a relationship of trust.
Wow, you said it. I can't add anything else to that. That was exquisitely put. That heart space, that longest journey. Wow, that's so good. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your insight and your experience with us. Um,
Thank you.
if folks wanted to reach out and connect with you, find your book, I'd like to leave all of those links in the show notes. Where's the best place for them to connect with you, like social or email, or do you have a website?
Yeah, I have a website. I can give it all to you, but I go by the Mothering Medium. So my two
Okay.
favorite things. So it's www.themotheringmedium.com or on Instagram, the Mothering Medium. Those are probably the two best places to find me, but everything I offer is there on my website.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll leave that in the show notes. So I'm just going to throw out a few for fun questions, just looking for one, maybe two word answers so we can get to
Okay.
know you. Tell us your favorite book.
Oh, honestly, I think my favorite book is by Louise Hay, Heal Your Body, Heal Your Life. It's like this tiny little book, has all these ailments and the mental and emotional root of the physical pain. It's changed my life.
That's so good to know. I've not heard of that one. Are you an
Yeah,
introvert or an extrovert?
I'm an introverted extrovert. I can fake anyone into thinking I'm an extrovert, but I recharge by myself for sure.
hmm I feel that. Who is your favorite artist?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. Any kind of high vibing, like music is my favorite, and anything
Okay.
just high vibrational is my favorite.
Perfect. Perfect. And are you a night owl or morning lark?
Morning lark.
And tell us your celebrity crush if you have one.
Thor. Duh.
You
Thor
did not
or Matthew
hesitate.
McConaughey.
That's awesome.
Matthew McConaughey. I mean, he's been there since junior high. I mean,
That's fun.
probably
Do you do still or carbonated water, diet soda, or some other fun beverage?
still.
Still
I
water.
don't love carbonation.
Okay, awesome. And then finally, the furthest place that you've traveled.
I think Bali.
Really, that's on my bucket list.
Yeah, I went
Not
there
just
a
so
couple of years
magical.
ago and I had never been pulled to go there or wanted to go there for whatever reason. And I really felt like the energy of the land like came and got me and scooped me up and was like, there's something for you here. You need to come. And there was.
Oh, do you write about it?
I haven't. Maybe in my next book. There's so
Maybe.
many things. It's hard to know what to write about, you know?
Right. Totally get that. Karissa, it's been a pleasure. It's been my honor. Thank you so much. May you be blessed for imparting of this time. I know how precious it is for you to take it out of your day. So,
Thank you. Can I just say one thing about you
of
in closing?
course,
So you and I are in this coaching group with this publishing.
with JOA.
Yes, the JOA. And the minute that you opened your mouth and started sharing about your journey and your child and your book, I just could feel you so deeply. And I could feel the depths of the love that you have for this child. And I honor you so much in working through and acknowledging your own pain that could be keeping you from fully offering all the love that you have towards this child, your children. So I honor you very much, and I see you and I feel you and I support you.
That is so generous of you to say. And I receive it. And I thank you for those words. It is a unique space for sure, as I know yours is.
Yeah,
And I'm guessing that's why you can see it in others too, because
probably.
you're a beautiful person. You have a beautiful soul. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you for having me. I love you.
I love you. Writer, teacher, author, Mormon scholar, and founder of Dialogue Journal, Eugene England said, "My faith encourages my curiosity and awe. It thrusts me out into relationship with all creation and encourages me to enter into dialogue." As a proud member of the Dialogue Podcast Network, my hope is that Living Beyond the Shadow of Doubt podcast is an extension of that vision. Visit meganskidmorecoaching.com to find this podcast and additional free resources, including the link for a complimentary coaching session. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram for more, or to send me a DM. Help the podcast grow. Please follow, review, and share with a friend.